Hello and welcome to another video, and I'm going to be going over my prediction for Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. I'm sorry for not uploading. It's been 5 days since I've last uploaded, and I've been super busy, and hopefully I'm going to be able to do daily uploads, and a lot has changed since I've last made a Donald Trump versus Joe Biden prediction, and I want to make sure my changes to the electoral map are known to everybody. So I'm just going to start off by filling in the safe states for Joe Biden. As of now, all the northeastern states are going to be safe. They're not likely anymore. I think that Joe Biden is also going to win New Mexico at this point in time by probably over 15 points. So, I don't know, maybe. But also Oregon, that would be likely. And Maine at large at this point in time. Maybe there's a poll. Maybe there are some polls out in Maine. Yeah, there are a few, but it doesn't really matter. Let me get out of this. This is currently a low point for the president, Donald Trump. This is his worst. This is his lowest points. He's just like tanked in polls. And let me see if I could get some of these polls up. I don't know what's happened here. So like the polling averages, they were starting to like close in like 2 weeks ago. It was at around 4.5% for Joe Biden. And now basically in every single swing state Joe Biden has a lead. So this has mostly to do with the protests and the Black Lives Matter protests around the country, the riots, and the tragic murder actually of George Floyd. So I think all of this will negatively impact the president. I'm having a really hard time seeing him win. You're gonna have an extremely excited Democratic base. You're gonna have way higher African American turnout, and especially in places like Virginia. And I'm going to have a hard time characterizing some Trump states in his favor. But now I'm just going to go through some states which I think will be safe for Donald Trump. You're going to see high African American turnout in Mississippi, South Carolina, and Missouri, so I'd say those are likely. I've always had them as likely, but now I'm still saying they're likely. Not really changing anything about that. Texas is also likely. And yeah, that's probably it for likely states. Maybe if I made this video like a few weeks ago, I would have put Iowa as likely, but even that has changed at this point. The lean states for Joe Biden are probably like New Hampshire. You know, a lot of the people who voted for Gary Johnson in New Hampshire, they probably won't go to a Republican. Actually, they're more of these like Northeast, probably pretty moderate, maybe moderate Republicans or pretty anti-Trump voters. I don't know. You could call them like, I don't know, something like a country club Republican. But they'd go to Joe Biden at this point in time. I don't really think that New Hampshire has a chance of going to Donald Trump. Same thing with Minnesota. I had had Donald Trump winning the state. I don't know, like it was my 4th video or something like that. I don't agree with that assessment. And the thing about it being a rural state is not a good idea. It's not a good point. And especially with everything happening in Minneapolis, and you're going to have a high African American turnout, especially in Minneapolis. You're going to have many suburban voters voting for the Democrats. And in places like St. Paul, Minneapolis, you're going to see the urban voters going to the Democrats. The Democrats will do really well, and I think at this point, Joe Biden's best bet would be to choose an African American woman. I used to say that he should choose Amy Klobuchar, but at this point in time, it would be a horrible idea for him to choose Amy Klobuchar. I don't know, maybe somebody like Val Demings or Stacey Abrams, not Kamala Harris, but he'll probably find someone. So in Nevada, maybe that's likely. I don't know about that now, but possibly it becomes likely. But for now, it's just a lean state. Maybe it goes to him by like 4%. It could be a likely state, but I don't know about that. Here in Michigan, I'm going to just go to that next. I'm having a hard time deciding whether it should be if it's going to go by over 2 points or under 2 points, probably over 2 points as of today, because I can't really tell what's going to happen in November. But as of now, I do see the state favoring Joe Biden. Maybe Michigan. Yeah, Michigan's here. The polling data isn't the most reliable, especially this South, but he has a consistent lead here. And especially in places like Flint, Ann Arbor, even in Grand Rapids, which is a very important county in Kent County. The fact that Hillary Clinton lost there is pretty bad, but he's going to win back the county. He's going to expand in his lead in Detroit, which is already a super large lead. It's going to be one of the reasons that he wins the state. But yeah, you have the state going to him. And I'm going to go now to Nebraska, Iowa, and Ohio. Then we'll go to the South, Maine, and we'll fill in the closer states. At this point in time, Nebraska's 2nd congressional district will narrowly go to Donald Trump. You could see Joe Biden winning there, but especially in the rural areas like in Omaha, you have some suburban areas which, if you saw the California's 25th congressional district race, Republicans did well with suburban voters, but that was a question of turnout, and now times have changed. To be honest, I think that maybe there are some ex-urban areas which go to the Republicans, because I know that ex-urban areas are basically vote for Republicans as much as rural areas, but you do have some ex-urban areas in Colorado which actually vote for the Democrats, which I think is interesting. But yeah, I think it will still stay with the Republicans. Iowa and Ohio, those both go by a lean margin to Donald Trump. You're just going to see the entire country start leaning towards the Democrats. You're going to see high turnout, especially in Davenport, Cedar Rapids. You could even see Sioux City getting close, but I do think that you're going to see massive improvements for the Democrats here. I usually think it's a likely state, but as of now, it's going to be a lean state for the Republicans, but I can't see it going for the Democrats. Ohio, there's a high African American population, especially in Cincinnati and Cleveland, so I do think that will especially help. MSNBC conducted a poll today looking through demographics, and I think the scary thing was that Donald Trump only had the support of 3% of African Americans, while Joe Biden had 95% of their supports. Donald Trump will have to do better with African American voters, or he's going to lose this election. But to be honest, the memory of the American voter is so bad that you could actually see this all getting reversed just because people forget about stuff so quickly. I'm gonna give Georgia as a lean state, high African American population. Maybe there's a poll in Georgia. He's leading there by a lot. I know that, but those polls are conducted from so long ago, and in places like Athens and Atlanta, we're going to see high turnout from African Americans. Urban areas are just going to be so lopsided, even more than they are already, not including all of the protests and riots and everything related to George Floyd. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Donald Trump by a lean margin. In Maine, 2nd congressional district, that's gonna be lean. I don't really have any polling data from there, but I don't think it would swing by that much. I think he'll narrowly take the district. I'm thinking about North Carolina at this point. It's going to be very close. Here, you have a high African American population in more concentrated areas like Charlotte, Greensboro, especially, and Raleigh. And I think that you're going to have so many people motivated to come out. You're going to have way more Bernie Sanders voters who are going to come out for Joe Biden. You're going to see Joe Biden just improving with everybody nationwide. So you could see North Carolina narrowly staying with Donald Trump. And now the final 4 states, the ones that are the closest ones. Arizona, that one's going to Joe Biden. I think that at this point, he's just doing well in polling data. There's a high Latino population. He's on track to win Maricopa County. He could do really well in Phoenix and around in the suburban areas. Maricopa County, if that goes to the Democrats, that's a guaranteed flip. The state will flip. You have a Native American population. You're just going to see the Democrats winning here. I think it's still possible that Donald Trump wins in Arizona, but I'd say that it's going to be difficult for him. He has to change his game. And in Pennsylvania, that one also goes to Joe Biden. I don't think Donald Trump is going to win there anymore. I don't think the home state factor will really be the reason that he wins the state. Places like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Erie, they're just going to be so motivated to come out. Suburban areas, especially around Philadelphia, that are so heavily Democratic. You're going to have Northampton County and these places around the blue counties from 2016 going to him. He's leading in polling. So, yeah, I think that, to be honest, Joe Biden is just on track to win the presidency, and I do think that Pennsylvania would push him over the edge, I guess. Trump really has to win this state. His game plan should be just to hold Arizona, hold Florida, hold North Carolina, and, Wisconsin or Pennsylvania. So, now I'm going to go to Florida. Florida's an interesting case. The polling data shows Joe Biden up there. And in addition, there are 1 million new ex-felons, I think, that could vote. I don't know if it's ex-felons or current felons. I don't have that information, but the thing is, there will be a million new voters who will be allowed to vote, and a lot of these people are actually African American, just because many are just disproportionately put into prison, but also just because you're gonna have a lot of African Americans there, and even if it's a small minority, just because I don't think that there are that much African Americans in Florida compared to places like Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, they're going to be very enthusiastically voting for Joe Biden, especially if he picks a black vice president, especially just because of the George Floyd situation. So it's very likely that it goes, but at the same time, Donald Trump is the incumbent. He might still be able to do better with the Cuban American vote in the state. He might just be able to hold his own by like so little that he ends up winning the state, but just by so little. The thing is, you're probably going to have older voters who might end up going to the Republicans because of this. Maybe they're just turned off because of the riots, and maybe that just they don't want to associate with the Democratic Party anymore. But you could also see Joe Biden being able to just get all of the Bernie Sanders supporters and basically all of the people who are hardcore Black Lives Matter activists, people on that side, and you're also going and like more moderate senior voters. But I do think that Donald Trump will still take the state at the end of the day. And Wisconsin, I think that one will go to Joe Biden very narrowly. I've been very hesitant to give it to him. I haven't really thought, to be honest, that it would go to him for a long time. I've been having a hard time with that, but in places like Madison, especially Milwaukee, you're going to see very high turnout for Joe Biden, and even around those areas, these more suburban areas like Kenosha County and Raycine County, probably. I don't know how, I'm a horrible pronouncer, I'm sorry about that, but these more suburban areas, they're going to trend towards the Democrats, and you're going to see the state narrowly going to Joe Biden. It's the Rust Belt could just be that's those states that just went to a party once. It's like North Carolina. It went to Obama in 2008, and then he lost in 2012 by probably 3%. Or an even better comparison, like Indiana, it went to him by like less than 1%, like all the Rust Belt states, and then it went to Romney by like 11 points. So yeah, this is still a pretty close map. It's still going to be very close, but Joe Biden has the upper advantage as of now, and I do think that if everything stands as of today, you're going to have Joe Biden winning with 289 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 249 electoral votes. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.